DC comic, Darren Casey. Good morning.
Who is this?
Is nice.
Is it Tony? Is that you? I can boogie. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Right, are you President Zelensky all of a sudden?
No, I became one of the women with a deep voice from Baccarat.
Oh,
They were the Russian ladies who sang, "Yes, sir, I can boogie,
oh, okay, right.
but I need a certain song." It was just on my mind. Because I think about that song a lot.
Yeah.
I was just playing a lot of songs from yesteryear. I was a bit sad that Burt Bacharach Burt Bacharach died, and he wrote a lot of fabulous songs that I've always liked.
Yeah.
And made me a bit sad, got a bit emo, and then I got on YouTube, and how it takes you on a bit of a trip, and I was playing all sorts of stuff. A lot of 60s vocalists that I never listened to.
Okay, like the Walker Brothers, were they in there?
That I never didn't. Sorry?
The Walker Brothers, were they in there?
I don't know the Walker Brothers. Judith Durham.
Oh, yeah?
Had a fabulous voice.
Yeah, true.
Dusty Springfield, people like that.
Yeah. She had a very unhappy life, Dusty.
There was a video about that I didn't click on. What happened? Did she have horrible men in her life or something?
Well, yeah, and she was a lesbian but didn't realise she was or it wasn't good for her to come out as a lesbian, very Irish Catholic family and and all that sort of stuff going on. And, I don't think life was a bowl of cherries for old Dusty. Yeah.
Amy Winehouse. I didn't know much about her until after she died. She makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Do you know much about her?
Well, she's part of the 27 Club. She was rather partial to the old narcotics.
Yeah. She's got one of the best 3 or 4 voices I've heard. I love that style, that real hard bluesy thing that she had.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting emo and sad.
Oh, don't.
And hey, we're meant to be humorous.
I know. Let's lift the mood, please.
All right. Well, one thing I just want to say, a few weeks back at Carlton, I won't stay on footy, but what's the deal with Silvani? He stayed in a car while his son won an award or something. What's going on?
Oh, it's something. There was like a conflict of interest or something because he's working at another club and he's at St Kilda and he thought it might be a bad look if he went in the club in his capacity of whatever he works at St Kilda. So he decided to absent himself.
Is that all? I thought he had some falling out with the club.
Oh, he has a falling out with everybody. He's, he's a pretty grumpy guy, if you ask me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't know. I've never asked him to... Can you pass me the salt, please, Sauce? Get your own salt. Or I get the corner of the salt shaker pushed into my forehead. Finish your food and leave.
Right. I don't know if he's... Anyway, it seems to have been a turbulent relationship with the Carlton Football Club since he left.
Oh, okay. Because what you just said had nothing to do with turbulence. That's just a guy working at a different club trying to do what I thought was the right thing. But there is turbulence. Because Kevin Bartlett never went near Richmond for years.
That's true. He didn't after he got sacked as coach.
And he was their favourite son for like years.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay, well, enough of that. What about reparations? What do you think of that paper?
Yes. Come on.
Perfect sense.
What's that?
Does it make perfect sense?
It's the most logical thing in the world.
Of course. And easy to... What about the Phoenicians and the Greeks and the Romans? They all had slaves.
Exactly. Irish people were made slaves in the Caribbean, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, I want some money.
Yeah, they were also taken by Islamic slave traders. That's a matter of fact. So I know Saudi Arabia has lots of money. So pony up, please, Sheikh Abdul Aziz.
Thank you. I'll take a check.
Yeah.
And I was also a slave to, and I guess many men were, slaves to dominatrixes in our younger days. Madam Sewerage can pay me back a bit. gave me a good solid thrashing on many occasions.
Right. What?
Made me do terrible things, Tony. Terrible, unspeakable things.
Don't want to think about it.
Well, don't. Terrible things.
What about people who've been a slave to the rhythm?
They have
Grace
to get money
Jones,
too.
money
Grace
now.
Jones. Grace Jones, she terrifies me.
So,
I'd be so scared if I was anywhere near Grace Jones.
yeah.
If I was an interviewer and she came on as a guest, I just wouldn't go in. I think I'd just go, someone else has to. I can't be near her. What if she punches me or something?
Amazing.
She was so fierce looking.
Oh, she was awesome.
And she had a big block haircut.
Yeah, that you could rest a
beer.
you could definitely rest a beer on that.
Or any liquid.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not... We don't want to promote alcohol on this.
Oh,
thing.
no.
So let's say you could rest a lemonade.
Or you could put a piece of chipboard on it, then a tablecloth, and have a brunch.
A nice meal. A nice healthy meal.
That's right. Steamed broccoli. I think we got out of that one, Darren.
Beautiful. Steamed broccoli, healthy stuff, or maybe some imitation meat.
That's right.
I saw a packet of meat in the freezer in a supermarket and it was spelled M-E-E-T.
No, get out of town.
And I looked at it and it was that organic plant matter meat.
Okay.
And they've spelled it differently. So it's meat for idiots who can't spell.
Well, do you know what they've done?
Food for illiterate people.
Thank you. Instead of slaughtering the cow, they've slaughtered the English language. Thank you.
Many words, much intelligence and grammar were destroyed in the making of this meal.
That's right.
Meat.
Ugh.
Yeah, processed stuff. All right. Hey, look, I found out more about camels, Tony. It gets better.
Yeah.
Well, we know about the back end, excruciating and shocking, but apparently they were rumoured... they have a reputation for hating men.
Really?
Yeah, and will often bite them from behind. But that's a reputation, but also being able to regurgitate a foul liquid from their stomach.
Oy.
But then the article went on to say, but the first two things aren't true, but the thing from the stomach is. So they can vomit at you.
Oh, please, no.
Yeah, I know. If you upset them. What a shocking animal.
Well, they're quite
What if
spiteful.
You go to a cocktail party somewhere in the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah.
And you get off you've got a tuxedo on, but you ride a camel to this upmarket cocktail party.
Yeah.
And you get off, and your horse just gives you a lungful just as you're getting off. And you've got to go in and mix with people. And people, what's that foul smell? And this is a line you often hear at Arabian dinner parties. Okay, who dissed their camel? Often you'll hear that one. And they'll all point at some guy with some foul-smelling stink all over his shirt.
Shake his ears as he's cutting me a check.
Shake his ears. Okay. Who dissed their camel?
Yep.
Who was that? Hey, I was, sorry. I'm just thinking about things. You know how I get.
I know.
I was watching a fat activist.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pick on a fat activist just for the sake of being overweight. But she was kind of rolling her eyes and scoffing at men who didn't like her.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's not that attractive. So maybe it's not even about weight. Maybe you're just not a very nice person.
Could be.
There's a lot of scoffing.
Yeah.
And the eye rolling and all the... So if some guy said, all right, I like you because you're fat.
Yeah.
Well, I was taught all along that women didn't like it if you only liked them because of their body. That was kind of not what they wanted to ever hear. You had to like them because of their mind as well.
Yeah.
So wouldn't, if someone said, well, I do like you because you're fat, which is what she seemed to want,
Yeah.
then he's going to go tumbling down to that part, and then she can say, well, you only like me because of my body. So he's caught in a rat wheel of madness.
He's caught in a no-win situation with a capricious woman.
Who, I have to say, just talked about fat a bit too much. Maybe the problem might be, what if the weight's not a problem? What if it's being a bit boring?
Yeah, yeah.
What about never shutting up about fat?
Yeah.
What if that was a thing? What if you're in a restaurant and going, honey, could we just not so much fat talk? Could we just ease off with all the blubbery stuff? Can we just talk about something else? Can we talk about art? Well, I'm fatter than the Mona Lisa. Okay. What if we talk about sport? Well, those weightlifters couldn't pick me up. All right, this is going well. Why don't we talk about politics? Sure, as long as there's a lot of pork barreling. This isn't going to work.
It wouldn't. Well, no
one talk about something else.
No wonder she can't have a steady relationship.
Exactly. Too much. Never stops.
Dial it down. Come on, Toots.
Yeah. What have you been doing? I always ask you this, and you go, everything's great. And you never say anything.
Well,
tell me what you've done. You keep your cards close to your chest. You don't let on anything.
I don't. I keep my feelings in a vault. Yeah.
Or just waiting until one day you're just going to crack.
Yeah.
You're going to start burying people under your house.
Yeah, yes.
And then one day we're all going to wake up and there's going to be police tents, canopies in your front and back gardens, and everyone looking out over the fence. What's happening?
Yeah, and then the neighbours selling me down the river. Yeah, I always thought he was the sort of guy who'd bury bodies under his house. Really? Did you say anything?
No. He was kept to himself.
Oh, there's that too.
Hello.
Yeah, but aren't they great neighbours, the ones who keep to themselves? They're my favourite. I mean, if that comes at the price of a few missing hitchhikers, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
Digging. Just got to keep saying a little. Yeah. Hey, when guys, rich CEOs buy, like they're on their third trophy wife and they buy them underwear.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's always considered that it's got to be the sort of sexy stuff. Do you think one of those CEO types has ever bought his wife a pair of really big, white, comfortable undies when she's, having a bad day and just wants to stay in bed with a coffee? Here, darling. They're big white ones.
Yeah, or black ones. It could be black ones.
They could,
yeah.
For when you're not feeling so good.
Yeah. That's.
Do you think that would happen?
Yeah, he might get his secretary to go out and buy them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's to which she might say, "You're not having an affair." I don't know.
And nor should you know.
No, it's his business. He's got enough. He's got plenty on his plate running a company and thinking about his wife's intimates.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing the radio show, and then stuff happens. You know what I've been doing? I've been trying to fix an unfixable lawnmower. When you get a lawnmower from Aldi, and then you ring around to places that fix them when it stops working, and they all go, "No, we're not touching that." I have a leper of a lawnmower. I need Jesus to come over and heal my lawnmower. That's how bad it is.
What happened to your previous lawnmower?
Well, the one before the Aldi one, or
yeah,
don't. It just gave up the ghost and died. And so I saw this one on sale. I like Aldi. I got it. We had an tempestuous early part of the relationship where we were madly in love, me and the lawnmower, and then it got a bit kind of stale, and and now all of a sudden it's decided to just not work anymore. and it just
How
sits
long have you
there.
had it?
Oh, probably
How
about
many mowings has it lived through?
probably had it about 5 years.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all you're going to get.
Well, I know, but what I
Don't
find
face reality.
well, no, what I don't like is then having a marginalised lawnmower. You know, when I ring these guys and they hang up on me when I say it's an Aldi. I mean, there's genuine discrimination. If this
And you're
lawnmower
trying
was
to
to
get into their business, so they're called lawnmower place.
yeah,
And you can see you're looking sort of through a crack between the curtain and the window, and you go, "They're in there." I know there's someone in there.
yeah.
I can see some fabric sticking out under a couch. They're there. They are in there. Like that.
Yep.
No, you're not going to go. I bought a mixer, like a cake mixer from Aldi that had these metal bits on it that was so sharp and exposed I wouldn't let my wife touch it.
Yeah.
I said, don't touch it. Don't even wash it. Don't hold. It was the bowl. It was you know what crenellation is? It was where the bowl, this plastic ring went around the bowl, so the bowl spun around on a cogwheel.
Yeah.
And so the plastic teeth that went in the wheel to make it go around, they were attached through sort of this crenellation of teeth that were metal that hadn't been filed back. They were just raw edges of steel.
Yeah.
Sort of spike. It was like something you'd make a prisoner wear in the 1400s on his head. There's these metal spike bits.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like a helmet
Right.
for someone you didn't like.
And then so
A helmet for someone you didn't
there
like.
you go.
Yeah. Hey, you, put on a helmet. Speaking of olden times, I was reading about Dracula and the guy he was sort of based on,
Yeah.
who was actually worse than a vampire.
Was it Vlad the Impaler?
It was Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, he was no good at all.
Well, apparently he did do other things in the community. He'd help out, like maybe putting up a new building at the local school, and he'd pick up litter on the beach. But he just couldn't get past that impaling thing. They'd go, Vlad, come on. But I'm helping out. What about, I've helped build the new school for the kid. Yeah, but what about the dungeon and the spikes?
Okay.
The impaling. You're just impaling too many people, Vlad. You'll always be Vlad the Impaler.
Yep.
Because he couldn't help it.
He couldn't. So
He loved to impale people.
he did. So it was him at the beach with a stick with the pointy bit on it, putting it
Yeah.
into a big hessian sack that he had over his shoulder.
Yeah, he would
Wow.
impale. Yep.
Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler. How many people do you have to impale
Oh, that's
to get that moniker?
it's a very good question.
Pretty crazy stuff, isn't it?
Well, after we went metric, Darren, it was probably a nice round 100.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vlad. So,
All right.
well, I'm dry.
Okay. Well, thank
Done
you.
the undies, fat activist, camels, Vlad, Fulfani, reparations.
Here we go. We're all done
All
then.
right, I suppose I could sort of float out with the notion of, have you ever been to an exotic market and bought something and then been warned that it might be cursed?
No, that's never happened.
Right. No, I was in a market somewhere and was offered a chicken that had flies all over it, but I never sort of walked away from the main arcade and into a sort of a sideways thing and picked up a little trinket,
Yep.
and then someone with kind of unseeing eyes and a gnarled hand warns you about it. And of course you scoff. You go,
Of course you do. You kidding
stupid
me?
old man.
Yeah.
And then you go back and your life becomes hell. Everything starts going wrong. So that's never happened to you.
No, I can't. I'm wondering if that's covered under the warranty period, if it does.
You can take it back.
Yeah.
It's been nothing but hell. A genie came out of it and severed all the heads of everyone I've ever cared about.
Yeah.
Can I have my money back, please? But if you were it only means something if you're in some exotic market, maybe just out of Istanbul or
Yeah.
somewhere where the music's a little bit different.
Yeah.
If you walked out of Coles and some old guy said, "Oh, you're going to regret buying that bag of carrots," you know, it's all going to go bad. You just go, "Shut up,"
Yeah.
and sort of cuff him to one side
Yeah.
with your big claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that thing again.
All right. I'm going to watch
Anyway,
out for
that's
those
my
carrots. The Darren Casey in the case of the
you.
cursed carrots.
Yep.
Darren, thank you.
Pleasure, always.
And go
You know
Pies.
that. I love it.
I love it
the
too.
segment. I care about it and I love it. Thank
Darren, we love you, and we will
Thank
speak
you.
to you at the same time next week.
You bet.
Mind the carrots in the meantime. Back in a moment.